quick to celebrate.
And there are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
I mean, that's the problem. Charlie Kirk was only a bad person because you disagreed with him. You feel like he was a person that deserved to die because you disagreed with him. Ma'am, you are not mature enough to be having political conversations.
Charlie Kirk just got shot. Oh,
and shout out to my man, Guess Dude. Guess, how you doing? Let me go ahead and get you up here.
There we go. There we go. Had myself on mute. All right. So you brought a good point, the whole maturity thing. So I'm going to start real quick with, it is finally fucking time we have the conversation I've been wanting to have with you for a while. This is why universal suffrage is a bad goddamn idea. Everyone having the vote just because you survived X number of years post-vagine is a bad fucking idea.
I mean, we should go back to what the founding fathers were on. Like, hey, if you weren't putting in on this country, then you don't need to vote.
I mean, I kind of brought it up in the Discord after we got off our fun little 5-hour insanity earlier today. Like part of the stuff I'm working on with my philosophical work, and eventually, hopefully, if I ever get back into school, if I ever decide to actually go back into the insanity that is the college system right now, sweet mother of God. Like I've argued for a pretty radical system, but I won't go too heavily into it. But like the idea that we have a system right now that is like, hey, you survived 18 years. The frontal lobe isn't even fully, your brain's not even fully formed yet. And it's like, yeah, we're just going to be like, you get the most powerful weapon that humanity's ever developed in the history of our species, the fucking vote. And your brain's not even finished yet. It hasn't even finished growing. It's still got another, 7 years to finish growing. We don't even let you drink. We don't even let you drink or smoke yet, but we're going to give you the most powerful weapon ever developed. You can't even.
I mean, look, if we can use your naivety to our advantage, I guess that's where the government kind of ends.
We have an absolutely fucked system right now. I don't understand why we still sit here and we have people arguing we need to lower it to 16.
What?
Yes, there are legitimate movements in the U.S. that are like, yeah, the voting age should probably be 16.
Oh, heck no. I mean, the 18-year-olds are already kind of wilding, but
I don't get it. Like universal suffrage, like we have all these people who are joking. I don't know how serious the movement is. It's like, we need to get rid of the 19th Amendment. I'm sitting here like, no, we just need to get rid of universal suffrage. We need a system where you do not get the ability to vote unless you've done something to fucking earn it. Like Starship Troopers was all about, oh, you have to, do your time in service, right?
Yeah.
And there's arguments about how he actually meant it. Like later in life, like 20 years after he wrote the book, he went back and went like, oh yeah, you could be like a doctor or something and you can earn it that way. However we do it, we need to come up with some better fucking system than what we're doing right now, where somebody who doesn't even have you don't even have to have a high school diploma and you could be voting.
Which is wild. Like no accomplishments in life whatsoever. But you can vote.
You have the ability to decide the future of a fucking nation. And we're not joking here. We want to pretend like, oh yeah, one vote can't count, but there are situations where we do get down to a couple hundred votes here, a couple hundred votes there, decide counties, and we do get down to the point where one or two counties decide swings in fucking swing states.
All right, hold on, man. Let's go ahead and get back to the video.
These people that we're seeing in these kinds of videos are the kinds of people that go back a little bit to Weird Bitch Bangs, the second bitch. A bitch with bangs like that should not be deciding the future of nations. She can't even decide a haircut.
Oh shit!
Okay.
She looks in a mirror every morning and still has that haircut.
She looked at the mirror every morning and think that those 2 little spikes coming out of her lip was a good idea.
Like, and then decides on top of that to film herself promoting terrorism.
I mean, it is quite amazing the time we live in.
We live in a society where that was in a voting booth last November.
Damn. All right. Let's get back to it. God damn it.
And how close? How close? What do you want to bet she was in one of the swing states?
Well, too bad we can't find that. Well, actually, you know what? We probably could. What really? Her tag is whore culturist. That's literally her TikTok tag.
You know what?
Whore culturist.
$70 says she was on that T app.
Oh boy, that T app was hilarious. Shout out to all the ugly chicks on the T app that was trying to, talk down on all the guys that smashed and dashed them. Like
she was on an air mattress somewhere, you know it.
Yeah. Hey man, that air mattress never failed. All right, bro. Let's get back to it.
Oh goddamn, man!
Well,
making that sound on an air mattress.
Somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantast's favorite 5 mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
And sadly, the vile left.
And shout out to my man T Bink. I like where Guest Dude is going with this. For democracy. It's like, hey. I like where Guest Dude was going with that one too. It's like, you know what? I like where you're heading with that one, Guest. It's like, we do need to make more responsible people start. I would say this: let only the responsible people start voting. Like if you're 18, no job, no real.
Man, if you actually heard my mentality on it, I take it to an extreme. Like we don't let people vote unless they've gone through a crucible, and the crucible itself. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't know how much YouTube would let me get away with, but you don't get to vote unless you've gone through the crucible. You don't get the ability to even be a leader in the society. You don't get shit in the society unless you've gone through the crucible.
Why am I okay, bro? I ain't gonna lie. You got me curious. The crucible, bro. Please explain.
Okay, so very TLDR version is essentially gladiatorial type fight to the death situation, and only the ones who come out on the other end.
Okay,
you have to be willing to put life on the limb and show that you're willing to bleed for your society.
I mean, bro, that takes out like 80 to 90% of people. I'll tell you that right now.
Most people wouldn't even be willing to do that. Only the ones absolutely willing would do it. There goes all our how many of our politicians right now?
It's like the logic of how much people go to war if they had to ride into war themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the ones who are quote unquote veterans, how many of them actually would do something like that? And I'm not talking like you're going in there with guns blazing. No, you're going in there old school medieval type fucking.
I'm weak. Just
hand
a sword,
to hand.
a shield, and bare hands, and good luck, my friend.
Yeah. And then that is how you test the mettle of the people willing to lead your society.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get back to it.
Has not been shy about showcasing their ugliness, their utter callous depravity. This is what leftism does to your mind and soul.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
That's good.
Wow. That's good.
Bluntly.
That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it.
Wow. And wow. And they try to tell us, oh, S.E.T, it's just a small group. Nobody out here thinks like that for real. I mean, until you put yourself on TikTok, you ask random people how they feel, and they're telling you like, yeah, we're happy that he died. I'm like, are you guys for real? I would literally have to break it down to this girl. I'm like, you got a dad? Like, okay, yeah. So if your dad got shot, everybody was saying good riddance to your dad. How would you feel about that? Like,
Hey, let me pause real quick. I saw a comment in here. Hey, JJ. So, JJ, you wouldn't have a culture and a society that would be off doing genocide and oppressing people if the people who are leading had gone through a crucible, because they're not the type of human beings that would be leading a society that's doing genocide and oppressing each other. That's the whole point of having the type of society that has this. When you have a society of a bunch of dumbass 18-year-olds who are only voting so they can get themselves fucking free healthcare and fucking college paid off, you get politicians who only are there to line their fucking pockets with corporate money.
But once again, though,
like, that's the difference when you have a society built on actual martialism as opposed to a bunch of bureaucrat cunts who only went to business school and got law degrees. You get a different kind of society.
So each state can actually choose its own laws on who gets to vote. There are times in history where, say, people with X amount of acres of farmland were the only people who got to vote.
Yeah.
All right, now all right, guys, hold on real quick. Let me go ahead and get a T Benky's second super chat. Of course, we have a Brit. Of course, we have a Brit show our fellow Americans how sick the Democratic Party is. Yeah, of course, we have a.
I think she's
Brit.
Australian.
Huh?
She's Australian.
She's Australian.
Oh, you're right. She is Australian. Rita. You're talking about Rita, girl. The Rita.
Yeah,
chick.
but she grew up in Iran.
Yeah.
It makes sense why she does have quite the disdain for well, I'm gonna be real with you, Iran and Muslims.
She's got quite a disdain for a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. She's when they were chanting "Death to America."
Yeah, she was. Oh yeah, she hated that part.
She's a transplant from bullshit land that went to some place that she thought was going to be free and turned into bullshit land. So she's a disenchanted, very angry woman who's not afraid to talk and speak. She's like that. God, I can't remember her name. The woman who,
awesome.
the woman who escaped North Korea and came to America right as America decided to become stupid as fuck the last 10 years.
Duh.
And now she's like, you guys are becoming absolutely everything that North Korea became when it flipped to stupid. Can you stop? I don't want to have to flee another country.
Yeah, trust me. A lot of the North Koreans are telling us that, and some of the Hispanic guys are telling us that as well. Like, y'all chill out with the socialist bullshit, please. But hey, all right, let's keep it going, guys.
That's how I feel at this point in time. But
I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes.
Bro.
Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist, a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
Enough.
He was a misogynist, even though he had a wife and 2 daughters. And I mean, that doesn't really sound like a misogynist to me. But hey, it is what it is.
He gave everything he had. He was a slave intentionally and lovingly to them.
Exactly. I'm just like, bro. I'm like, bro, these women don't know what a misogynist is. Actually, to them, a person, I wouldn't go lie. A lot of these women have the idea of men twisted. For some reason, they think a real man is somebody who probably isn't married, who probably don't got kids and actually takes care of them in the family.
They don't
real
know.
Man
They
to
don't.
them is a guy who wears.
No, I guarantee when they're not on this thing, calling somebody, they're over there crying on the T app, talking about how they can't get shit, and they're getting bounced around by 3 dudes who are cheating on them. Like,
and those 3 dudes are conservatives.
We keep hearing about we keep hearing about the male loneliness epidemic, but we don't hear about the female loneliness epidemic, where they're just as fucking lonely and they're all crying and bitching. And that's why they keep throwing the misogyny thing around as much as they do, because they are just as jaded and pissed off by their loneliness.
Dude, I'm gonna be real with you though. I feel
It's
bad
just
for
become this
women.
toxic fucking fight.
Bro, I feel bad for
It's
liberal
all women. Like,
They
it's
turned their
across
guys
the damn
into
board.
betas. They literally turned their guys into cucks. It's like it's really
No,
I feel
it's
bad.
all of Gen Z. It's all a Gen Z, man. Gen Z right now is just exceptionally fucking lonely.
I could see that though. I mean, let's be real.
And
The girls
because
growing up
the
in this
more
new
lonely, the
generation
more lonely.
are more money oriented than like family oriented.
Yeah, I mean they're perpetually infantilized. Like they're bringing Crocs back because they wore them as kids, and now they're just like, well, I'm gonna wear Crocs. I'm gonna wear Crocs. Like they brought Crocs stock to higher than Nike's stock.
That's funny. In my generation, they started sucking on pacifiers again.
Like this, there is a systematic loneliness that is pervasive within Gen Z that is
honestly
fractionalizing them and atomizing them.
Honestly, I think the loneliness comes from the fact that, well, a lot of women are monetizing themselves.
Well,
I mean,
it's the men and the women. It's COVID and the lockdowns and the digitization of society and the loss of the third places. There's a lot of factors involved.
Like, what's the point of women trying to like? Here's this: women are supposed to depend on us as men, but instead they're depending on tricks to provide them a lifestyle. Men that they don't respect, men that they damn near fear. But they'll take that, they'll take that credit card, to make sure that they don't need a man like us.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also men don't know how to even grow up now. Like there's an entire 2 generations that cannot grow up. There's no vector for them to grow up. The means for growing up even joining the military is not an option. Like the whole idea of, you join the military, you get in the military, you go do your time in the military, you get out of the military, you come out, you could buy a house, right? That's not even a fucking option anymore. Like the entire options, like all the options have been vaporized. It's done. Even if you join the military, what wars are we in? Like there's no wars. There's nothing going on. It's just you go join the military and mop some fucking floors. Like what are you gonna do?
I mean, just overly train.
Yeah, that's not what happens when you go in the military. Not when you're in a pause situation. You mop some fucking floors.
God damn. I mean, I thought y'all was at least running drills. Like damn, but I mean, maybe running drills on how to mop that floor.
Like there's not a lot of they're not going to waste budget on a stand down. So you're in a garrison mode. So it's a lot of sit around, do nothing, and do maybe a little bit of training. Because the thing is the military operates on a 1-to-8 ratio. So every frontline troop has 8 rear guard, like rear operations to them. So you got the frontline guys, they'll be doing their operations. The line guys, they'll be training. So you have your infantry and your all that stuff. But those other 8, they're just in standby mode. And they're so even that, like you're not really doing anything unless you went to the Navy or the Air Force, where they've kind of always got an operation going on. But there's not much going on right now. And that's why I think like things like the National Guard getting turned on is just like they're trying to find something to do with them.
No. Okay. So you're pretty much saying that like, there's not really too much to do, like no major wars going on, and really the only major wars is going on, we're kind of just proxy.
Our military's too big right now, and it hasn't been downsized after Afghanistan, because we're kind of like, okay, we're going to keep them big because we kind of think World War III is coming, but we don't want to downsize just in case, but we don't really know. Poland just happened. Article 4 just got activated.
And there's still a lot of political pressure to cut military spending as well. So
but Article 4 did just get. I know the Charlie Kirk thing is like taking over the airwaves, but Article 4 got activated underneath all that. Like Article 4 got activated, I think, early morning September 11th. So if Article 4 is activated and then Poland goes, okay, yeah, we kind of want to activate Article 5, we are in World War III.
Shit.
Like we are right there on the cusp of it. So we're in this weird gray area of like at any time Poland could be like, yeah, those 3 waves of drones that came in, we're not playing Article 5. Let's go.
Yeah, which I mean, what do you think about those drones? Like, you think those threatening drones? You think it was unintentional false flag? I was hearing that it might be a false flag.
Those were full-on kamikaze grade drones. Russia's testing NATO. They want to see if we're actually ready to stand up.
Talking about this earlier.
Oh man,
the evidence is there. I mean, did Russia actually say, "Yeah, those were our drones"?
Yeah, they've completely accepted that those. They've stated it. They're testing the wire. Like it's like Jurassic Park 1, how the Raptors would test the perimeter. Russia's testing the perimeter. They want to see, like, they're like, are we actually ready to rock and roll or not? And right now it's like,
but nobody in their right mind actually admits to it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Poland activated Article 4. Like, at this point, it does not matter. Article 4 has been turned on. All NATO members have to convene. And if Article 4 is fully activated, that means we might have to put troops in Poland.
All right, guys. And to give you a deeper explanation here, Russia has not claimed responsibility for the recent drone incursion into Poland airspace. However, Polish officials have attributed the attack to Russia and rejected Moscow's explanation. So Russia tried to say, yo, it wasn't us, but Poland pretty much said lie again.
No way. There's no way they would actually be like, oh yeah, we did it.
Yeah, but there was intel that stated that a Russian official did say they were pissed off that Polish jets shot down Russian drones.
That's not admissible in a court of law in any.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Article 4 was activated at this point in the game.
Well, but Article 4 has to go through a court of law still, and that court of law,
not with NATO. NATO, all it takes is Article 4 getting turned on, and then they all sit down. All the NATO members sit down.
Not a fiction book.
No, this is reality. Like this, if Article 4 is activated by any member of NATO, so I've served underneath NATO 3 separate times.
Well, yes,
if Article 4 is activated,
if it's not, somebody not only has to make a claim, then it starts going through the court proceedings of whether it actually meets the legal definition.
I know, but but most likely what that means is we will have troops in Poland by the end of the year.
No, I'm not saying we won't.
That's an issue, because we're probably going to turn the skies over Poland into a goddamn buzzing beehive.
And I'm not even really arguing with you on any of that. I'm just saying I am not convinced that they are, in fact, Russian drones, and Russia did not agree to it. So the legal proceedings are going to be difficult, except for the fact that NATO just exists to hate Russia.
That's true, though. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and keep. All right, guys, go ahead and keep the conversation moving on this one. Let's get over to that Piers Morgan conversation we was getting into last night. All right.
A Democrat, and in Michigan, and even in the last 24 hours or so, what do we see from Laura Loomer on Ilhan Omar, the Democratic Congresswoman, Laura Loomer being a very senior MAGA person? At the end of the day, everyone needs to realize that Ilhan Omar is a bloodthirsty Muslim terrorist sympathizer.
I'm sorry, but Laura Loomer hates anybody who's just a Muslim. I mean, she's a real Islamophobe. And here's the thing, I respect Laura Loomer. She got all good positions, but when it comes to Islam and any Muslim, bro, she literally thinks they're the scum of the earth. Like, that's just Laura Loomer's position. I think that's why a lot of people don't really listen to her like that, is because she has such a vitriol for anybody who's Muslim. And that just doesn't go. Like, I ain't glad it's not going to fly over well, even with the conservatives, if your hatred is that obvious.
No place in the country. Her presence in Congress is a national security threat, and she's an enemy from within. So please, the idea that there is some sort of asymmetry on this, the fact of the matter is, America, and indeed the UK as well, we've got into a really negative cycle here, where basically the temperature goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up. And then sometimes some of the people who are responsible for that turn around and go, God, I can't believe it's so hot in here. Everyone needs to pull back from the brink. Social media needs to actually be reformed and needs to be changed. Elon Musk has been pretty responsible for some of this stuff that we've seen as well. So let's not pretend. If we pretend that this is just a problem of the left or of liberalism or of wokeism or whatever you want to say, this problem is not going to be any better or get any better. Let's use this as a moment for all of us.
But that's what I keep saying, though. Please name your left-leaning political pundit that's almost got shot or been assassinated. Like, who's had that big of a voice to where anybody on the left even perceived to be that type of threat? because it only happened to on the right. It only happened to Trump and Charlie Kirk. Where are your? I don't want the left to have any martyrs, but if y'all would have make this argument, where they at?
I'm trying to figure out why we should give a shit about the teetotalers talking about America right now. I thought we whooped their ass 200 plus years ago. I don't give a fuck.
We did it twice, and then we saved their ass in the next century.
I don't know why I should give a shit what some teetotaler who's currently arresting a bunch of people for free speech has to say about American politics right now. I don't care. I don't care if he wants to come over here and wasn't his government not just a couple months ago saying, hey, we're going to arrest you. What your people are saying on because of things they're saying on the internet. And we had to be like, fuck you and the couch you wrote in on.
What are you talking about?
Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They were going to try to. The British government was making claims.
Oh, I mean,
because of their
things
No, the British government was making claims that because of that internet bill that they passed in their parliament, that they were going to the comments made on platforms in England.
I saw some really funny memes on that one.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so why should I give two fucks about some British guy? We broke away from those teetotalers for a reason.
Yeah, so the funny meme I saw on this was a British guy coming to some regular Joe American's house and said, "Here, I am here to arrest you, sir." And he's like, "Well, it's kind of an unfair fight. Would you like one of my sidearms?"
It's just true. Yeah, all right, guys. Let's get into this video that guest studio is actually speaking on this.
It's hurt us. It's hurt our people. It's hurt our future. And we're sick of tired of liberals stepping into the fray and saying, no, you just have to accept it. No, we don't. And I think that now that we've tried this experiment, we've seen that it's failed.
Who did that edit?
It's fueled by aggression. It's fueled by frustration, as if those things propel it onto planet fact, when of course it doesn't. It doesn't even allow it to orbit planet fact.
The point is the police are working for criminals. The police are doing the bidding of these criminals. And it's because this debate is so confusing that they're able to run rings around them.
President Trump is coming to the UK next week. Would you like him to take up your case, maybe with the Prime Minister, with the King? Perhaps he's got the state dinner coming.
When I heard that Trump had won, I went into a sort of depression. And then the next time he won, I was delighted. Because, whatever his flaws and faults are, at least he knows what a woman is.
I am British and it will all be my home, but I have taken my children out of the UK and am now educating them in the Middle East, where they get a traditional British education without any of the trans bollocks and woke ideology.
That's crazy. So a whole bunch of radical Middle Easterners invade UK. You take your kid and go to the Middle East and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're going to have to bring you back.
I'm dead.
That is crazy.
I would like to see people come together a bit more, because we still are a great country and a great people, wherever we come from, whatever our backgrounds.
The arrest of comedy writer Graham Linehan has become a global controversy, heaping further scrutiny on what many people believe to be a troubling erosion of free speech rights in the UK. Linehan was arrested by 5 armed police after arriving at Heathrow Airport on a flight from the US over posts on social media which have been reported for inciting violence against transgender people. Graham Linehan is currently back in the US, from where he joins me now. Graham, welcome to Uncensored.
Thank you, Piers.
You're now back in the United States after what can best be described as a pretty turbulent trip to the UK. Take me back to the moment you came in to Heathrow Airport and what happened to you.
Well, the plane landed, and it was one of those strange moments where it came to a stop and people were told to stay seated. And I thought, it was a normal piece of technical issue or something that was holding things up. But then they called my name over the tannoy and told me to present myself at the, to the staff. To the crew. So I grabbed all my stuff. I'm not very graceful at the best of times, so that was quite a sight. And And that was my main concern, really, getting all my stuff and then when I had it all and I collected myself, I kind of knew immediately what had happened, because this would be, God, maybe the fourth time the police have come to
my phone decided to overheat while I was out in my car. Apparently, it's still like 100 degrees at night.
Harass me.
Whew. Oh yeah, I forgot you out there in Texas. I forgot.
Yeah, it's been a hot couple days. The last couple days.
Shoot, it's been hot up here up north, so I can only imagine.
That's like every day for us in Arizona.
Dude.
Okay, yeah, you're in the hottest state right now.
Yeah, it's stupid, man. I don't know where this heat wave came from, and like they warned it. They sent out like actual alerts to my phone that overtook my phone like 2 days ago, and it was like, yes, expect extreme heat even at night. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Man, all right, bro. Make sure you're getting hydrated out there, my brother.
Oh yeah, dude. I've been down in Arizona teas like crazy.
Yeah, where do you think they make those?
Make sure you throw some water in the mix. But all right, guys, let's get to it.
On behalf of, the same trans activists, and this has been happening for 8 years, so I was used to it. I knew what was awaiting me, but I never thought I would be arrested.
And you had an interesting conversation with them where you were trying to find out why they'd arrested you. What did they say to you?
They said I was being held on suspicion of, this is all a bit of a blur because it was so upsetting, but of posting my passport was flagged, which made sense because I'd had trouble checking in and I didn't know why. And then they just said that I was being arrested on causing violence to people or something like that. And I went nuts, because as I say, these are the same people who've been harassing me for 8 years. I've gone to the police again and again to them, including a credible death threat from one of them. And the police have never done anything. It's as if there's a ring of protection around these men. So I started kind of really kicking off. And they became concerned that I was going to be a control problem, so they were going to put cuffs on me. And I said, if you put cuffs on me, I will be a control problem. And then, the mood of the whole thing was so.
It's kind of funny. This guy literally got locked up just for saying that, if a trans woman go in the bathroom, kick her in the balls. I mean, no, that's pretty reasonable advice. Okay, I'm just playing, of course, but that's literally what he got in trouble for. Pretty much making salacious trans jokes. And I mean, trust me, guys, if we lived in UK or if we had the same laws UK had, we'd all be arrested. Well, I mean, now Lord knows I'd be arrested by now. I'll be arrested by now.
Me too.
Yeah, that happened so quick. I mean, it probably happened live on stream. It'd just be like, knock, knock, we're here for you. You know what you said.
They would have got me when I was like 8 years old.
Bruh. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get back to the other debate, because this one, I don't know, I didn't have too much wasn't all that interesting, I guess. But all right, though, back to it. What the heck? There we go.
He was fine. We'll find out where he got radicalized, but please let's not pretend.
Here we go.
One side of this debate is uniquely morally repugnant, one is superior. The statistics are wrong. That's not right. Doesn't support what you're saying. And the fact after fact after fact, and occasion after occasion after occasion shows the same thing. And like I say, January the 6th itself was literally the legitimization from your side of political violence at the highest of levels. And what did Donald Trump?
Political violence. I would say this, like, did we intentionally go after people on the left? Was that the goal of January 6th, or was it just a protest and election result that the people disagreed with? Like, do y'all even know what the January 6th protest was for? I would like to ask them that. Do you even know what it was for before you make that assumption that these guys were trying to, show political violence?
I find again, I don't give a shit what a Brit has to say about Americans trying to, do what we do best, which is get pissy about politics. Because, I mean, didn't we show the world how to overthrow their shitty empire? Because, I mean, we started the whole cycle of revolts that turned their empire into one tiny little fucked off island with beans on toast.
Well, and it all started with us having to run away from their scary asses in the first place.
I mean, exactly. So let's again reiterate. Fuck off, you little bean toast having asses. I mean, I'm legitimately tired of every other country on the. I get it. We stick our noses all around the world, but that was only because we had to pick up the problems of the shitty ass Europeans that kept starting piss off world wars, which were nothing more than family feuds, because Queen Victoria spread her fucking little family tree all over Europe in the 1800s.
And the constant destabilization of African countries, but you know.
I mean, legitimately, if you study Queen Victoria closely, World War I was 100% her fucking fault.
Well, hey, let's keep the language normal.
All right, let's not go too far with that one, but we're gonna go ahead and keep it pushing off that one, because you go a little bit too much into World War I, and I ain't gonna lie, I guess, dude, World War I and World War II history, that's where some people draw the line.
Well, I mean, I could keep it real simple with this. Almost every single crown in Europe was related to Queen Victoria in some way. So World War I was just a family feud.
Well, hey, you know what happened right after America defended off Britain and God churned up the seas and knocked all over all their boats, right? And then we went over there and we attacked them, yeah. But then America put an end to the Ottoman Empire and the samurais, and then the Nazis.
I mean, shoot, and the Ottoman Empire just to give away the Palestinian land to the Jews.
Well,
man, did we make the right choice?
Well, I mean, the Ottomans didn't own it before that. The Greeks did, and before that, it was.
No, but then I mean, you could then say the same thing about America. I mean, before we owned white people came, it was the Indians. For the Indians came, it was, well, Lord knows who. Might have been them the whole time.
Bunch of mammoths.
Yeah, a bunch of mammoths that might have just ran the, like Neanderthals and all that good stuff. So,
but I mean, that's the thing is, like, we get, like, earlier today we had to deal with Leo coming in here and trying to gripe about American politics. I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood when we're on the verge of a civil war, having every other country barking their opinion at us when we have to try to clean up our house.
But I was trying to hear Leo out. I was trying to hear him out on the terms of, like, all right, like, but what's the real argument? Well, not what his real argument was. I just wanted to get down to his argument on why you feel like we're being hysterical about this when this hasn't happened on y'all side.
The left is trying to talk us down so that they can talk the right down, not me down, because they're not going to pull it off, because I was on the left and I'm not playing their games anymore. But they're trying to talk the right down. They're trying to get you guys to calm down. They're trying to get you guys to get peaceful so you could let your guard down again. So that Charlie Kirk should have had security. Where was his security?
Behind
a presidential candidate got almost popped twice. Where was his security? And
where was the blast shield in front of why would they have that?
So it calms down. You guys get comfortable. You guys get complacent. This is basic military operations 101. You guys haven't been attacked in a few months. You guys get used to it. You're like, oh, we're calm. We're good. We don't have to worry about it. And then once everything gets calm, boom, one of you gets popped again.
Well, hey, no, but you know what? Charlie Kirk would prefer that we talk things out. One of his big messages was the fact that as soon as we stop.
Well, now his wife's taking his place. Do you think he's going to be fine and dandy if the right decides to get all peaceful and his wife's the next target?
If you could ask Charlie today, he would do it all over again. I bet.
Okay, I get that, but now there's actual blood on the street, and now the game has changed.
And he would
at
say,
a certain point,
my death. Let everybody know what happened here today.
Yes, but at a certain point, you got to understand you're not fighting on equal footing.
No,
they will continue to kill you over and over and over and over again, and you won't win.
Charlie would quote some Bible verse right now and tell you how the light will
And
come.
Jesus said, if you don't own a sword, go out and sell your cloak and buy a sword.
All right, then.
So I'm fully aware of biblical text, and I hold a minor in religious studies, and I will tell you Jesus would eventually get to the point of, yeah, we're all about turning the other cheek, but also buy a fucking sword.
I never said
Okay.
anything about removing the Second Amendment.
Like, at a certain point, self-defense becomes preemptive.
All right, the point he's trying to make is like he's like, well, we can have this we could try to be pacifist about this, but if these guys are being aggressive, we're only going to screw ourselves over trying to have this pacifist like movement right now.
And I understand that. My position is that the police officers found and kicked the shit out of the guy who did it, and every time one of these people decide to get violent, we're going to have the full force of the federal officers and local and state officers against them.
Do the math. Do the math, though. Do the math. Like this is. I put a comment in before I hopped into this. Is the right unaware of game theory? Like completely? Are you guys just oblivious to game theory?
No, but we're also
Basic mathematics states right now you have one guy who might be given the death penalty in Utah. So for the next 20 years, he's going to sit in a cell and write books. While on your side, you have one dead and 2 children without a father.
Would you say game theory is ethical or moral?
It's amoral. It's just math. It's just math.
But ethical. It's not moral.
It's just math. It's just math that you have to assess in real time.
I would say this, guest. I mean, I agree with you if I had the belief that it is most of the left. I know you have the belief that it is most of the left, and that I may be being a bit naive.
It doesn't need to be most. Again, right now, because a good chunk of the left cheer it on, and another chunk of the left play useful idiots. All you need is one guy with a gun to make it so that you have one guy who's about to be in a cell for 20 years, potentially doing interviews and writing books. And on your side, do basic COD logic. Let's take it to the most simple. What's the KD ratio on your side? What's the KD ratio on your side versus their side right now?
Okay. Oh, I'll give you that one. But here's the thing, though. Just like with the trans issues and other political issues, we can pull people from their side and weaken their numbers just off their rhetoric with this Charlie Kirk stuff alone.
Okay, but
like I'm saying, they're weakening. I believe they're weakening their own numbers with their own radical actions and rhetoric.
Yes, but again, you have one dead, one widow, 2 fatherless children, and one guy who's going to be sitting in a cell. And I'll give it 2 terms, very basic. You have one martyr who in a couple news cycles will be mostly forgotten.
One glorious martyr, if you will.
Okay, but he in a couple news cycles he'll be mostly forgotten.
No, he won't.
You got most people have already forgotten. I had to remind people. I had to start reminding people that we're almost to a year of Trump's assassination. People were like, "Oh yeah, we are almost a year. This is weird. This is crazy." I had to remind people about the Luigi assassination.
Yeah, I haven't cried in 10 years, and I
get that, but I'm saying with how things work, it's the fog of war kicks in with things like this, and with that guy, he's going to go to a jail cell. He's going to write books. He's going to be on death row for 20 years because that's how long it fucking takes. On your side, you have 2 kids who are going to grow up without a father. And then with the peace strategy, you're going to have 2, 3, 4 months, and you're going to have another one of these events.
I don't know about another one of these events, but if it does get to another one of these events, and I can't even stop what's coming at that point, or I can't even talk level-headed at that point. If it's a pattern, if this turns into a pattern, then
how's it not already a pattern?
No, listen.
Well, let's be honest. Okay, I'm gonna say it like this: we only got 2. We got 2.
We've got 3.
Kirk. Who's the third?
Luigi.
Whoa, no, whoa. What? Whoa.
Okay,
Was
Scalise.
that guy? I can't count that guy. That guy wasn't really a right-leaning political figure.
same kind of strategy. He marked his rounds.
Yeah, for the healthcare guys. I'm be honest, like that's
same kind of logic behind it. A leftist marking his rounds, attacking somebody that he saw as an enemy, and he was a leftist attacking.
Yeah,
he was a leftist
that's
attacking
more
an enemy.
like a vigilante type of, like, I don't know. He felt himself as a hero for taking out this guy.
And I would not be surprised that this guy who just attacked Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, no, I get your point here, but here's the difference between that guy and Charlie Kirk, though. We didn't know this guy's name until he died. We knew Charlie Kirk's name for a while now. Like, one lives in infamy, and one we don't even remember this guy's name for real. But he was a CEO somewhere. I mean, he had the same dinner set up as Charlie Kirk.
But the point is, same kind of strategy was used, marking the bullets, which means there's a very good chance that there's some sort of sleeper movement occurring.
But this wasn't a political figure, though.
But that means there's some sort of sleeper operation going on if they're marking the bullets the same kind of way.
You know what the thing is God help us if we stoop to their level.
It's not stooping. If you're in a war, it's not stooping.
No, if your morality is on the line, if your soul's on the line, it's stooping.
All right, guys. All right.
And look, let's extrapolate even further. How many people were put on their knees because they were wearing a red hat and had a bullet put in the back of their head in 2020 during the Summer of Love?
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, go back. There was at least 2.
Okay, I'm about to say, because I'm like, bro, whoa. What you're telling me is kind of threw me off guard right there.
There were direct, intentional, back of the head execution style killings where people were put on their knees and gunned to the back of the head in 2020. The pattern's already here.
Well, all right, hold on, let's get out. Shout out to Bobby. He's like, just how quickly all MAGA forgot about the Epstein files and how the ununanimously cast it's from being released. I mean, here's the thing. We'll get back on that, okay? Go job, GOP, Israel owns you. Okay.
Keep coming up with your delusional ideas, Bobby.
Okay, Bobby. Like I said, don't worry. We'll get back on the Epstein list later. I mean, be patient. Trust me. It's like, it's not all about you guys. Think about it. Guy just died and you want us to focus on Epstein for the rest of our lives. Like, no, we're going to take some time to focus on this, and then we'll get right back to Epstein and getting right back on the Trump administration's ass about it. But until then, calm your ass down.
I mean, there are a lot of fires to put out, and right now a civil war kicking off is kind of priority numero uno.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest with you, dog, Bobby, like, and there's no disrespect.
You can ask S.E.T. One of the things that I bring up when I come back around here is, until the client list is released, all the politicians are pedos in my mind. There's no love lost in my mind for Trump right now. Like, until the list is released, he's on the list in my mind. They're all on it because it's one of those things of you're guilty until proven innocent when you're a politician in my mind.
All right, now hold on, dog. I really didn't know about this. So the killing of Aaron Danielson and Michael Renohill. Let's see. Aaron Danielson, an American supporter of a far-right group, Patriot Prayer, was shot and killed allegedly by a far-left activist after participating in a Canva. Wait, what? Hold on. So basically a parade which drove through Portland, Oregon, displaying banners and signs supporting President Donald Trump and clashing with participants in the local George Floyd protests. Ooh, so yeah, guess what? You were right. MAGA supporters were executed by, allegedly far left activists.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, they were bailed out by Kamala Harris.
The Democrats
right at 39.
The Democrats claimed civil war against us years ago, but once again, We don't want to let me finish, but we don't want to let it de-escalate into a civil war. We don't want civil war, bro. You don't know what you're asking for.
It's not a matter of, like, that's the thing is, okay, so let me see if I can try to explain it simply. You don't get to decide whether or not it is or not by simply playing ostrich and sticking your head in the sand.
Yeah, I do. If I grab my guns and I go out shooting around,
I'm not saying go out and shoot around like this is like trying to argue with Dave on the Discord, where Dave always thinks I'm trying to be a naysayer or doomsday prophet of some kind. No, what I'm simply saying is Putin is over there still saying, after how many years he's been in Ukraine, this is a special military operation. This isn't a war. No, buddy, you're fighting a war. Stop fucking trying to pretend it's not a war because you call it a special military operation. Or the fact that we were in Iraq and Afghanistan for 20 years, but it wasn't a war. It was not a war. It wasn't a war. We never declared it. It wasn't a war, but we were there for fucking 20 years fighting a fucking war. Just because you don't call it a thing doesn't make it not a thing. A rose by any other name still will stab you in the hand with its thorns.
I disagreed with you on that. I'm just saying you're being a bit extreme. We don't have complete chaos right now. We have a president who is taking the National Guard in places that seriously need it.
But you're missing my point. Asymmetrical civil war.
You refuse to understand that I got your point. You're just trying to push it so hard.
No, what I'm saying is, on the right, there seems to be a concerted effort to keep this. Let's try to debate them. Let's try to debate them. We're winning the debate. We're winning the game of ideas.
What's your solution?
I'm trying to understand, as someone who's not on the right, what is the damn end game if you just keep playing that strategy?
Strategy.
If
you're trying to goad the right into war right now?
I'm trying to understand the end game, because here's how this works. One of the super chats I sent was, when diplomacy breaks down.
I don't want to be like you.
No, when diplomacy breaks down, it always goes to war, and the only way a war ends is to break the enemy.
We don't want to be like you.
I'm not asking you to be like me. I'm asking for an end game strategy. I'm asking for you guys to not be W right now.
I can tell you exactly the end game.
You're getting yourself into a quagmire.
Go to your local church next Sunday, and you'll learn everything you need to know.
Okay, no, stop with the Christian rhetoric, because you're not even arguing a real legitimate Christian argument. You're arguing some evangelical version of Christianity that doesn't even argue correctly. What I'm arguing right now, or not even arguing, I'm asking simply for an end game. You're getting ready to step into a quagmire the same way W stepped my happy ass into a quagmire, and I spent 7 years of those 20 years over there.
Just keep asking for war. I'll
No, I'm not asking for war. You're already in one. You just don't have an end game for it.
Well, have you won yet?
I'm not fighting it. You're in it.
All right, guys. I think we're talking past each other on this one.
Okay,
so,
I'm not going to talk to him right now. S.E.T, you're on the right. You're a prominent. How many members do you? How many subscribers do you have, and how many people do you average to have viewed on right now?
Let's see, 109,000 subscribers as of right now, and average people viewed alive, we're looking at about 100K average lately.
Okay. So you're prominent now.
I don't like to say it, but I guess.
Okay. So what is the end game? If you had give me something to work with here, because you just witnessed something on Wednesday that
I gave you the answer. You just didn't.
No. Well, man, I got him on this one. All right, so this would be the end game here. First, I'd have to low-key scope the enemy out, and if the enemy is the left, I gotta see the different factions of the left. That's who I can bring over before we even set up an attack. Because like I said, I don't believe it is everybody on the left, and I do believe that the left is scared some of their own off. I think there's a lot of guys trying to jump ship off this rhetoric that the left is
Clearly, I'm here, and I'm not on the left anymore. Because how long was I on the left?
For years, damn near half your life. So if we can get those guys on our side, then we can position ourselves, because we don't want to go against people who actually agree with us. We don't want to go against people who are just sitting on the other side because we didn't give them a chance to cross over. It's like, well, let's not just draw the line too soon. Like we need to know who's standing with the bullshit and who's walking away from it. And then we'll start talking about an attack plan, a game plan with those guys that we brought over, because who knows their party better than them. That would be the end game, or that would be the attack plan, or the plan as of now. And that's what I feel like we're doing, in my opinion. We're waiting to see, all right, who's the crazies and who's the reasonable guys who we can bring over before we set up our attack, before we set up the game plan on these guys. And not a physical attack, but a social media attack on their character to make sure nobody ever listened to their dumbasses again.
Okay, so in the time frame of that, how many more Charlie Kirks are you guys willing to lose? Because you're gonna lose. I
don't think we're gonna lose any. We're gonna up the rate on it. First off, and most likely gonna start being blast shields at these engagements, just like what the president has. Like, they will damn near be mandatory for these engagements. Actually, I would almost put it on the city to start setting these up for these guys so they can avoid it.
One would hope, but here's the issue I see.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a downtick in serial killers. Serial killers have pretty much faded out. That's an old thing. They don't really exist anymore. I've studied Cascu pretty closely. Cascu is like the FBI's serial killer unit. They're like, okay, yeah, we should have about 50 active, but they're not doing anything. I don't know if you're familiar with the lead poisoning hypothesis behind serial killers, but there's pretty good evidence it was actually because of lead poisoning that serial killers existed.
Wild.
And now that we don't have all that lead in our system anymore, and we've pretty much aged out the population that did have lead poisoning, we don't have a shit ton.
That's crazy. You're not the first person to tell me that lead can make people homicidal. So I'll let you go ahead.
So there's pretty solid evidence that was a play.
Mercury will make you mad as a hatter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, though. Hold on. Now, I have been neglecting the super chat, so shout out to Ryan Sanders. Bobby is smoked, and shout out Bobby coming in again. He says Kirk was recently talking and questioning Israel and Epstein ties, and you guys are fighting left versus right sheep. And then, well, I'll come back to that one. But Ryan Sanders coming in again. Source any examples of that, Bobby. We are waiting. I mean, please. Because
all right. So I mean, okay.
Because I think you're too focused on Israel and Epstein, my friend. Because here's the thing: we're gonna get back to them.
That's because he's probably watched Europa, that one fucking video, and he's just obsessed with it. He's down that rabbit hole.
Yes, you seen Europa?
Yeah, he's down that rabbit hole.
It's a pretty radicalizing video. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it takes a pretty level-headed mind to watch Europa and not come out a white nationalist.
It's a very well-made documentary for propagandizing a certain segment of the population.
I mean, but they had some facts in there that I'm still.
That's what I'm saying. What's that old saying? The devil uses 90% truth and 10% lies, and will get your ass real quick with that 10% lies.
Yeah, it's like, trust me, bro. It would take too long. It would take too long to comb through and try to look up dog. When it came to look it up on information, I'm still on episode 6 out of 11.
Yeah, that and Zoomer Historian. Zoomer Historian's a really great channel if you want to learn really good solid history on World War II, like Hitler's life and stuff like that. But if you go into it with the wrong mindset, you'll come out loving fucking Hitler.
Yeah, you will. I mean, you call Hitler the best socialist to ever touch Earth. It's like, what?
And it's so funny because I've sent it to people. I've introduced people to that channel. They come out on the other end of it. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have sent it to you. That was a bad idea. Your brain wasn't ready for that.
Well, that's
man,
actually all part of the Communist Manifesto. Think about the show Lucifer. Doesn't
Oh,
Lucifer
man.
seem like
I'm convinced nobody's ever actually finished Das Kapital. Like I think aside from actually the guy who wrote like actual Marx and his little team of people that wrote it and the editor,
Europa Last Battle.
I don't think anyone has ever actually read all the way through. I have never read it, and I was a dyed-in-the-wool communist for 2 years, and I got like halfway through, and I was like, this is just too much.
I wouldn't tell too many people about that.
Like that book is just too much, man. And I'm thoroughly aware that I'm pretty sure almost every communist is just a Cliff Note reader.
I'm done. He's like, ain't nobody. Somebody read that full thing, like got the full ideology of it in. He's like, no, we just read half of it and just ran off with it after that.
Yeah,
like,
I swear, because it's like, dude, that Marx is not a good writer, dude. It's like trying to read Tolkien while drunk. It doesn't work. But so the plan you came up with said it's not a bad plan. It's got a like almost a hearts and minds strategy to it, which would have worked in Iraq and Afghanistan if we didn't also have really shitty like operations going on that were counterintuitive to hearts and minds. The big issue I see with it is,
I mean, you can't win hearts and minds while bombing.
You have layers to the left that will, like I showed with like how he was operating like a useful idiot immune system today, right? And you for every argument you deal with, because the way they linguistically shift and mold and twist, you bring over some to the equation. Like for me, a lot of the reason I even broke away from the left is because I'm more anarchist than I was left. Like I only really argued leftism because the economic aspects of it. I was never socially left. I was never any other aspect of left except for the economic side of it, because capitalism just doesn't work functionally. And that's because I know capitalism hasn't been a thing since the Industrial Revolution. It just doesn't work underneath an industrial system.
Well, I disagree.
Yeah, we'll have to disagree on that one. But
But even then, I finally rejected socialism because I'm like, we're in the 21st century. Why am I arguing over 1850s economic systems? Like, we need a 21st century economic system. This is stupid. We're arguing over systems from the Victorian era.
Cash
this is dumb.
Always has been. Gold has been currency for a really long time, and you're not getting rid of gold. It just went up again today.
Well, I mean,
valuable resource.
Well, yeah, I'm like, in terms of currency, I'm not opposed to a locked-in currency, but in terms of how we functionally operate an economy, I think we're at a point within the 21st century that I think within the 21st century we are kind of getting to the point where it's like, yeah, we need to get away from centralization, and I'm not sure how we do it, and I'm not willing to put any more mental bandwidth into economics. Like, I was just like, I'm ditching economics, and the left made it really easy when they started shooting people. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to ditch the left entirely because I don't need to worry about economics. I'm sticking to philosophy and anarchy now. So I just ditched their asses. So in terms of the rest of the left, a lot of them are philosophically left. They're politically left. They're not economically left. You're not going to be able to win them over on the economic arguments because they're not really economically left. They're philosophically left. That's why you get the transhumanist movements. You get the like the idea that you can take a human being and make them more than human.
What do you mean?
Stuff like cyberization and stuff, bioengineering.
Do you think it's not possible?
It's not a matter of it not being possible. It's the fact that it.
All right, guys, hold on. We went too far off topic.
Let me get back onto the internal strategy. There are some you could break away because they're not dyed in the wool. The ones who aren't dyed in the wool they'll break off easily, especially once the fighting starts getting obvious. They'll break off. The problem I see is the layer behind that, the ones who will dox you, the cancel culture side, the ones who are willing to actively celebrate killing. Like, they're the ones who will act as the intelligence and support branch. And then behind them are the crazy sons of bitches who will sit there and for months on end plan, strategize, and sit there and meticulously carve words into bullets with the full intent.
And all right, guys. All right.
So that's the issues. You got to understand there. For every 3 that you might be able to pill off, there's probably 5 behind them that you're not going to be able to pill off.
I'm willing to accept those odds. But all right, though, let's get right back to the video.
So that's the quagmire that you're dealing with.
Were you there?
Were you? Excuse me. Are you in the United States? Are you an American?
I just returned from the United States, as a matter of fact, but I don't need to be in the United States.
Okay, so wait, are you an American citizen?
No, are you an American citizen? The price of fish.
Are you an American citizen?
Nope.
No, I want to ask you a question because you're looking down, you're reading stats and facts, and I don't know where the hell your sources are from. But guess what? As an American, from seeing what they did, excuse me, I let you talk. Please let me talk, okay? From what you mean to tell me what the left, your darling left, has done to the Republican Party and Donald Trump alone for 10 years, the calling for violence, the Hitler, like Batya said, all the negative rhetoric, to the impeachments, to shooting him in the head, and him saying, I want peaceful protesting, and then the FBI informants, all the confidential human resources inside the freaking car on January 6th, that's a whole different argument, debate that you don't want to get into. But as an American who